This is McKenna Collins, host of Table Talk. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Do you need some extra motivation in your life? Are you looking to be inspired? If so, then look no further than the Good God Company.
At the Good God Company, their mission is to create and clothe all loving humans with their unique, inspiring, and beautifully designed t-shirts.
All of the products from the Good God Company are equally designed to motivate you and improve your life. From their mugs, workout tanks, to eye-appealing shirts and sweatshirts.
Learn more about their renowned products by visiting thegoodgodcompany.com. That's thegoodgodcompany.com.
The Good God Company is proud to support Public House Media. The Good God Company. I'm feeling good.
This is Daniel Poppy, host of How to Write Good here on Public House Media. I just want to thank you for listening to the following broadcast brought to you by Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope that you'll come check out my show, How to Write Good, the writing show that is not about writing. A new show of How to Write Good comes out every Wednesday, so don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of How to Write Good. Again, thanks for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
How's it going, everybody?
Hey guys.
Coffee with Keith.
And Katie on Public House Media.
Brought to you by
The Good God Company.
Check them out at goodgodcompany.com. They have a bunch of cool apparel. Public House Media also has a bunch of cool apparel. You can get shirts that have our logo on it. You can get shirts that have the Public House Media logo on it. We have our coffee with us. Hope you have your coffee. Ah! No, I'm just joking. It's hot. It's not hot. It's cold.
We've been like this all day.
It's cold coffee.
Hi, David.
David, thank you for joining us. Got a big thing of coffee.
Yeah,
David. Because we're talking about cold brew coffee today. It is very hot outside in Chicago.
Today was better.
A lot of just a heat wave going though. That's the title of the show. It's very bad up in Wisconsin too. It's gonna be
having a heat wave.
All right, so yeah, it's hot outside, and Katie knows all about it because she has to work outside and she walks around in it all day.
Yeah. So the thing about working at Wrigley is they only give you one shirt. So when you have to work 3 days in a row, and all 3 days are 90 degrees, but you only have one shirt to wear, all you can do is hope that the Febreze and the sunscreen will mask the smell.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad. But what we like to talk about is the scoreboard at Wrigley is a big steel box. It's a manually operated scoreboard, so 3 to 5 guys are in there for every game. But it's a steel box. There's no ventilation.
So you just got that 90 degrees and that sun just boom beating down on it.
Yeah, on that dark green.
Greg, thank you for watching.
Hey, Greg.
And yes, you are watching because it says you're watching.
It says Greg is watching.
Greg is watching. So.
But there's no heat and there's no air conditioning in that scoreboard. It was built in 1937. It is a historical landmark protected by the city of Chicago, so we can't change it in any way.
You must be able to alter it to have air conditioning in there. You can't tear it down.
They don't even have air conditioning in the press box. Yeah. Anyway, so it was about 95 degrees out this last weekend, which means it was about 115 inside the scoreboard.
Wow.
No ventilation. Sometimes if you go to a game, you can see a face peeking out on one of the slots. They're not watching the game. They're just trying to get fresh air. That's rough. So I may complain about my one shirt.
Yeah, but they got it.
But they
got it much worse than you.
I think they get 2 shirts.
And in this apartment, in our apartment that we're in, it gets better. But this building that we're in, like many buildings in Chicago, it's old. It's an old building.
1931.
This building?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
It's true.
I didn't know that.
I did.
I honestly didn't know that. You'd think, oh, that's stage. Didn't know that at all. How do you know that this building was built in
You had to find out to get renter's insurance.
Katie obviously takes care of all the insurance on our end. I'm like, huh, how do you know about that? Very important things that we need, Keith.
You know.
That's how I know about
It is hot, but it's definitely not
It's
snowing.
That's very true.
That
Greg.
is correct, Greg.
Thank you for that.
Nate Darrow.
I don't know
I don't
who's
know.
Nate Darrow,
I
Greg.
don't know who or what that is.
Is that a typo? Nate Darrow.
Anyway, so in this building from 1931, we only have a window unit.
We have a window unit on full blast. It's been on full blast for about a week.
Yep. So
And
we're
we have
excited to get that energy.
we have the ceiling fan on.
We have both ceiling fans.
There's a ceiling fan in our room and ceiling fan
Yeah.
out here. What we decided to do, what I decided to do, I thought it would work. I turned off the fan and I closed our bedroom door. So the air would only get to the main areas, and then at night we open the bedroom door and we have everything going, both fans going, and things like that. I made the executive decision. I thought that we'd get more out of the air conditioning unit if we closed the one door and if it just shot in to like the rest of the main area. It's not a very big apartment.
It helped until nighttime. And then I made you get out another fan, and that didn't do anything.
Yeah. She's like, Katie was laying in bed. She's like, Keith, we need do you have that other fan or something? Like, yeah, I have it. But the ceiling fan is actually quite strong. Where if you put our other little fan,
How's that go?
goes like that, it doesn't do anything because you're already feeling you can't feel the air from the other fan. You need a big box fan that makes a ton of noise.
I hate those.
I love those.
I know.
I love that buzz of the fan.
Keith likes sound at night.
I love
Sound
that.
and complete darkness, and I want all the lights on.
I want the room at 60 degrees.
I hate hotels. Going to hotels with him is the worst.
I want a cold room, pitch dark, and a nice steady noise of like a fan or something, or a big strong air conditioner. Cover up under the covers. It's perfect. Anyways, so that's what we've been dealing with the hot weather. I'm sure a lot of you have been dealing with the hot weather in your own ways as well. Well, the title of the show is Coffee with Keith and Katie. As I said, we have our coffee with us. This is cold coffee. This was brewed ahead of time. So we're going to have our coffee like this today.
No ice?
No ice.
Why not?
I'm about to get into that.
Oh, okay.
There are different ways that you can do cool coffee in your home as well. And two main ways to do it. The one way that I used to do it, now it's actually pretty good. This is pretty mellow.
I'm sure
Strong
it's
flavor.
terrible.
Strong flavor, but it's smooth.
I can tell the smooth part.
Right, it's nice and smooth, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so the reason why this is smooth is because it was straight cold brew. And the way that you do that is you just put probably put twice as much coffee grounds, not quite twice as much as not even twice as much. You put probably twice as much. You just say twice.
We'll say it's twice as much.
I didn't do all the measuring out and everything like that. About twice as much coffee grounds into a pot, into a big pitcher, and then you pour some cool water over that, and then you just let the water and the coffee just kind of brew there for a good 12 hours or so. And that's how I did this one.
This is new to me because you used to just make a pot of coffee and then put it in the fridge, and then it'd be ready for the morning.
Right. So this is a lot smoother because it wasn't hot brewed first, and there's no ice added to it. and and the reason why I was having like saying a lot of coffee grounds, not as much coffee grounds. It depends how long you let it sit. Mm-hmm. I didn't put as many coffee grounds in here, so you got like a little bit of a lighter color around there. You can see that it's not completely pitch dark in there. So I didn't put as much coffee grounds, and I didn't let it, sit for 12 hours. I let it sit for only a couple hours because I wanted to see how it went. But you still got a strong flavor, and it's really smooth. That's one way to do it. Another way to do cold brew is to really make a really strong cup. So you're going to want to make use at least twice as many grounds as you normally would. And you're going to brew it as you normally would, and then you're going to put a bunch of sugar in it. So at the end, you're going to have this really, really, really strong pot of coffee that's really, really sweet.
That sounds excellent.
Then you let that cool in the fridge for the night. And then you serve that kind, so it's already really strong and it's really sweet. Mm-hmm. And then you put your milk on it, and then you serve that with ice cubes. And you make it really sweet and really strong because the ice cubes are going to dilute the sweetness and the strength of it. So you're going to get a good tasting cup of coffee that's pretty sweet and also, pretty strong as well. But when you hot brew coffee, sometimes you get like a little bit of a bitter, like sour taste. Sometimes it's good for coffee. For iced coffee, it's usually not. This was my first attempt doing like the cold brew, just mixing the water in the grounds and letting it sit for a couple of hours and then straining it.
Well done.
So that was pretty good.
So this is like this is what Starbucks does for their cold brew.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know what Starbucks is.
I know the cold brew is like a 24-hour process. So when they started it a couple years ago, they were always running out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know that you brew it cold, whatever they do.
Mm-hmm. Greg says, have you guys ever... Isaac, thanks for joining us.
Sup, Isaac? Sup, gangsters? Isaac says.
Greg says, have you guys ever tried cold nitro brew coffee?
He has.
I have. From how it's been explained to me, it's nitrogen-infused coffee with the flavors, either regular or sweet and creamy. Do they have that where you...
Sorry, put my finger in there.
Do they have that where you're at? Yeah, they definitely serve that at both of the Starbucks that we go to.
There's a special cup.
Yep, they put in a special cup. It looks like a
sippy cup.
Yeah, and Greg, I understand this concept might be lost on you, Greg, but the cup of coffee looks like it has like a good head of foam on it. And it's so dark, it looks after it's done coming out of the spout, or what am I trying to say?
Nitrogen,
or whatever they call it. It looks like a glass of Guinness.
Yeah.
And it's really, really dark, and you have that good head of foam on top, and then it kind of simmers on down to the bottom. That's pretty cool. But so without getting too technical, 2 ways to do cold brew pots of coffee. You can either just mix water with a good amount of coffee grounds and let it sit for about 12 hours, and then that's it. You don't. You just have your cold cup of coffee. You don't have to use any ice in it or anything like that. It's going to be a smoother taste because you're not really cooking the coffee and things like that. When you hot brew a coffee, sometimes you get a little bit of a sour, bitter taste. You have a much more smoother taste this way. The other way, like I just mentioned, is brew a normal pot of coffee, twice as many grounds, 4 times as much sugar, let that cool overnight, and then you dilute the strength of the sugar and the extra grounds with the ice in your creamer the next day. Other ways to have iced coffee also, brew a strong pot of coffee and blend it. You can get like a magic bullet and with a bunch of ice, and you can put chocolate chips in there and everything like that. And you can make like frappuccino.
You should do that.
A float too. Actually, if you have to get the proper amount of ice cream to coffee ratio, you can also do that and blend some ice cream with some strong coffee, and you can have a good, strong homemade coffee flavored ice cream as well. I tried a coffee float at the Starbucks Reserve that's close to Wrigley. We had a reward. I would have never spent.
It's $10.
It was $10. I would have never spent $10 on any coffee drink, but it was free money.
It was. We had a reward. You could use it however you like.
So that's what we decided to do.
The barista kind of tried to talk us out of it because it was expensive. We're like, no, we got a reward.
I said, what's that up there? And they said, oh, so that's what it is. And they're like, but it's $10, so I don't know if you're into it. I'm like, you know what? I will take that $10 cup of coffee for nothing. They're like, okay, great. I'm like, okay, and I have a reward.
Debit rewards card.
Parks and Recreation, guys.
Yeah, you got it.
Watch it. Anyways, so that's basically the bulk of the show.
I like that. So you don't have an excuse for not making your own coffee in the morning. You can make it at home at night. Don't have to spend good money on it.
Because that was in our descriptions. Can we afford to get Starbucks every day? No way. But
obviously,
there are some good home remedies to having a nice cup of cool coffee by yourself. So,
well done.
And I actually like this. I
didn't know you did this. I thought you had just made it and put it in the fridge like you usually do.
Nope. Did it different.
Well done.
However, if you decide to go the cold brew route, you're going to run through your coffee grounds much quicker than you will if you go with just like a hot coffee. But again, this will probably last the week, depending on how much. I don't have a lot of coffee in the morning, just enough to get me started. So this will probably last a week. But when you're if you go the hot brew route, you're using twice as many grounds. You're going to go through your coffee grounds quicker. So stock up on your inventory. Anyways.
The grounds are cheaper than Starbucks.
We've come to the point of the show called NFL or NBA.
Or humiliate Katie.
I ask Katie 3 names. She tells me whether they played in the NBA or the NFL.
Yes.
However, going to switch it up a little different.
Change the rules.
The Cleveland Cavaliers have signed.
I know this.
Have signed with the LA Lakers. LeBron James has signed with the LA Lakers. But essentially,
he is
the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So
that's pretty good. I like that.
So LeBron and the Cavaliers, they moved to Los Angeles. If you haven't heard it by now, we're breaking news.
Yeah.
But if you haven't heard by now,
extra, we know about it.
So, Katie, can you name? Just for the heck of it, I'm sure you can name the 3 teams that LeBron James has been a part of.
Yeah. So, Cleveland.
Yep.
Miami.
Yep.
Cleveland.
Yep.
The Lakers.
Very good. That wasn't the question.
I did so well on that one.
There's one other NBA star that has played for 3 different teams.
Okay.
Besides LeBron James.
Okay.
Can you name the 3 teams that Kevin Durant has played on?
Kevin Durant.
Do you know what
he's
team
in
he
that
plays?
one commercial.
Do you know what team he plays on now?
No. I'm gonna say Lakers. Golden State Warriors.
There you go. Plays on Golden State.
Okay.
Won a championship.
Okay.
NBA MVP 2 years in a row. He's a very good player.
He wasn't Steph Curry?
No. I don't think so. No, it was.
I could care less.
It was Kevin Durant. Pretty sure it was Kevin Durant. Anyways,
All right.
what team
He's
did
the
he?
Yo Google.
He's the one
That's
in the
Kevin Durant?
Google commercial. Yo Google. Yeah. Where did Kevin Durant play before Golden State? 2 years ago, he was on another team.
2 years ago, he was in Kansas or Kansas City. Or
You're pretty close.
Utah.
Go further east.
To the east. Philadelphia.
Go west.
South Carolina.
West. Not.
Pacers.
No. You were close with Kansas. You were close with Kansas City.
I'm trying to think of my... What other basketball teams are there? There's Kansas something. Not Utah. Oh no, that's West. I was really bad at geography in school. I don't know.
Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oklahoma City.
We saw Kevin Durant and Oklahoma play in person in Milwaukee one time.
This is the second time you said that, and I forget.
He's also the lead singer of Duran Duran. Get out of here, Isaac. Dropping some knowledge on us like that.
You for realsies?
No, he's not for real.
Yeah, I think so, but...
So, play for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay.
Like I said, we saw the Bucks play the Oklahoma City Thunder one time. Kevin Durant played, dropped over 40 points.
With Gerana...
With who?
Gerana Rafopoulos? Who's the guy we just saw play with the Bucks?
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yes. Gerana Rafopoulos.
He was not on the team at the time.
Right.
Giannis.
Right.
Giannis, however,
Okay.
a lot of knowledgeable people pronounce the name very differently. Giannis, however you want to pronounce it. Antetokounmpo is the last name.
Sure. You and my dad and me all went to see
Yep.
that.
We had pretty good seats. Second half, Kevin Durant comes out and destroys the Bucks.
I was distracted by the ad board. I was trying to figure out how it was cycling.
All right, one more quick question about Kevin Durant. Where did he play before Oklahoma City?
Kansas,
No.
Utah, the Lakers, Cleveland, Miami,
Oh.
the Bucks,
Oh, Katie.
the Celtics, the Nets, the Bulls.
You're doing a pretty good job of naming teams, though. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty impressed with that. David said he was not hungry. He's not hungry to play with the Wolves. Katie doesn't get it, David.
I'm guessing he played with the Wolves,
No, he did not play.
the Timberwolves,
Nope.
which is hockey.
Seattle
That's
Supersonics.
wild. Supersonics.
They are no longer a team.
Oh.
Seattle moved to Oklahoma City, became the Oklahoma City Thunder. One more thing.
Oh my God.
So
this
LeBron-
is gonna embarrass enough.
No, so LeBron James, 3 different teams in his career.
Yes.
Right. Kevin Durant, 2 different teams in
2
his career,
different
but
teams, 3 locations.
3 locations. Right. So we had 2 current NBA legends that we talked about.
Yep.
There are 2 retired NBA legends that either played for another team or was drafted by another team. Kobe Bryant spent his entire career with the Lakers,
Yeah.
but what team was he drafted by?
The Lakers. The Mavericks. The Bulls. The Sonics. The
Go East
Seattle,
Coast. Go East Coast.
The Celtics. The Nets.
No, go south. Southeast.
Miami.
Go north. I'm good at geography.
Duran. Never mind. You're too young to know. I know the name
Sorry,
Duran
Dave.
Duran, and it would make sense that they would be called Duran Duran if their front man
Or
was
do they
Durant.
and I'm hungry like a wolf? Is that one of their songs? I'm guessing it is.
Oh.
I don't know. Is that one of their songs, David? Anyway, so
I don't know who is in the middle of the
East Coast, south of Boston,
Philadelphia,
north of
New York, Pittsburgh,
Or-
Washington,
south of Washington,
Virginia, Georgia,
north of Georgia. You're getting there.
Atlanta,
North
Georgia,
north of South Carolina,
North Carolina,
and the big city in North Carolina.
Raleigh, Durham,
Kobe Bryant was drafted by the Charlotte Hornets,
Charlotte,
I believe.
Charlotte.
He was drafted by the Charlotte Hornets, but he never played for the Hornets. He spent his entire career with the Lakers. He was traded to the Lakers, I believe, on draft day.
But they are not the Charlotte Hornets anymore, are
They
they?
are the Charlotte Hornets.
Were they not at some point?
The Hornets became the Bobcats.
Look at
And then the
me.
Bobcats moved to New Orleans. Oh boy, how did that go?
Gone down a rabbit hole.
They were the New Orleans Hornets, and now they're back in Charlotte, and they're the Charlotte Hornets.
And the New Orleans Jazz went to Utah?
New Orleans Jazz did go to Utah years ago. Good job. One more question. What was the one other team that Michael Jordan played for other than the Bulls?
Charlotte. No, he owned the Hornets.
Right, that's the tie between him and Kobe. That's why I went to Michael Jordan next. I was going to ask you that. Now, what team does Michael Jordan partly own?
The Hornets.
Got that. All right.
The Charlotte Hornets.
Yep.
Did he play somewhere else?
Yeah. So he played with the Bulls.
Yeah. And then he played
And then he
baseball.
retired, and then he played baseball, and then he played with the Bulls. Then he retired, and then he came back one more time.
Oh, I know this. No. East Coast.
East Coast.
Not Charlotte.
No, north of Charlotte.
I don't feel
I
like it
think
was a
north
big
of Charlotte.
name, like not the Celtics or the Nets. I feel like it wasn't a big one like that. I feel
Not
like
a big basketball team name. No.
I don't know.
The Washington Wizards.
Washington Wizards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do they still exist?
They still exist. Max Wolpoff, my co-host of the Cheap Seats, he's in Washington. He lives in Washington, D.C. So yeah, it's just funny to hear you ask the question: do they still have a team? Max would be like, "Yes, you still have a team." Anyways, that was the trivia.
That was really good. I enjoyed that, and I've already forgotten everything you told me. But it
Not
was
only
fun.
did I teach Katie about NBA player team history, but we also gave you a geography lesson as well.
Yes.
Ask Katie the only reason she knows why the New Orleans Jazz used to play in New Orleans is because of the movie Basketball. The beginning of the movie, it's great. The Minneapolis Lakers moved to Los Angeles where there are no lakes. It's like the Oakland Raiders moved from Oakland to Los Angeles, back to Oakland, and no one seemed to notice. And the New Orleans Jazz moved to Utah where they don't allow music.
That is the only reason I know
It's
that.
a stupid movie, but it's hilarious at the same time. Anyways, we talked about the Heat. We talked about iced coffee.
Yes.
We talked about basketball and geography.
And geography.
This has been a full show, guys.
It has.
David, Isaac,
Greg.
you guys that joined us live, thank you for adding to the discussion. We will see you for more coffee on Thursday at 7:30, as we always do.
Yeah. Have
Same
a safe
time,
and
same
happy
place.
Independence Day.
Happy Independence Day. Have a fun 4th of July.
Yeah.
Have a couple of beers. Have a couple of bomb pops.
Gotta
Maybe
have.
some brats and burgers on the grill. Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
Do something.
Tell us about it on Thursday when we come back.
Deuces, guys.
Peace, Isaac. Everyone else, have a good night.
Bye guys.